Gather round. This is a story from Uncle Joey, the old philosopher. I have a Steve Jobs story because he is opening his pictures, opening the movie about him. And I know a lot of people want to pay $18. They really need the money over at Apple. It's actually going to the production company that made the film, but I met both of them, Steve Jobs and Wozniak, when I was at 20th Century Fox. I was doing the marketing on Star Wars, and I had a friend named Saul Bernstein in Thousand Oaks, California, who was the father of computer art. And he had a garage with they had a garage too. Theirs was in Northern California. Saul's was in Southern California, LA area, in the San Fernando Valley. So Saul had this huge equipment that IBM sent him, and all these people were sending him this equipment, and it would take him a whole day to download with a pixel this one little logo, which you probably have seen on the Apple. And the other, Einstein, that famous Einstein one. I don't have a copy of it right now, but I was there for all of this foolishness. And besides everybody being a little bit of a hippie, this is my peace sign over here. Well, it's not really a peace sign, it's a Mercedes logo upside down, just in case you were wondering. And the first Apple laptop was Wozniak's invention, and it weighed about 400 pounds. It was, oh my God, this thing was like too big. You wouldn't put it on your lap. You'd have to use someone else's lap who was working out at the gym. But the two Steves were very interested in IBM. They liked IBM. They wanted to get into this whole business, and they did. They did, big time. Now, Wozniak is the inventor, and Steve Jobs is the marketing guy. They've had a couple of falling outs with the company, and they started it and left it and had their personal issues, But Steve Jobs was a very, very wonderful genius with marketing. And Woz has a camp called Camp Woz, which is every summer. He takes kids who don't have a lot of money and gives them all this Apple equipment and teaches them and has wonderful people visit them. It's great. It's all done through my friend Joe Patain, who was the first of the reality stars on MTV Real World. And that was my rejoining of Steve Wozniak. I hadn't seen him since the 70s, the late 70s. And we all got together and decided that we were successful. Because the fact of the matter is that we were alive, healthy, moving, and still inventing things. So Woz and Jobs were both creative sources, and the thing that I liked best about Steve Jobs was the iPhone, which it's got Siri. You know what that is? I mean, I don't know if you got an iPhone. If you're Galaxy or Android, you probably don't know this, but the iPhone has Siri, which is a voice that you ask any question and it gives you the answer. It's very much like a game show. So Siri, S-I-R-I, I say it spells Steve is really inside because, he's the inventor of it and gone. I think he's got a little Ouija board in there, and that's the thing that gives you predictions in the future, and it's pretty mystical and magical. But coming from that world of wonder and magic, I have now the news for you that I'm doing this on an iPhone. How about that? And I can't show you the iPhone because it's in use right now. I got the other one. This is the 6S. It's the new one. And I'm going to have the new iPad. But, it's all about myself. I this, I that, iPad, iPhone. The Apple has been the great logo in my life for spiritual guidance, because it comes from Genesis, and the apple is Adam and Eve. And that's when Eve first got blamed for everything that Adam did wrong. That's called marriage, It was her fault, Lord. And so the apple gets blamed for everything that goes wrong. It's a sin of pride, And if you had that stock, you're very proud. So for the apple of my eye, which is the Big Apple, is New York, and that's my city. It's all going around. And my show is from the NASDAQ window, which represents Apple on the stock market, It all comes together. I'm melting together with Wozniak and Jobs. The difference is that I'm still here to tell the story. Now, a lot of people can't do this because they don't have the sense of history. So I would like CBS and some of the networks to know that the reason why you don't have this experience is because your newsmen sat on their asses and they never left the room. That's the reason. Now they're going around to wars and events that are tragedies, but I was going around to everything, and that's why you have this. I wouldn't know this story, and I could tell you another one later about how I did the first laser discs. But we'll save that for another Reynolds Rap, all right?